Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to the Gallery. Today I'm going to be giving you my library book haul, all of the books that I've checked out in the last couple of weeks. The number is actually a lot lower than it usually is. I usually have like 25 books checked out from the library, but not this time. I'm trying to rein in my books that I check out so I can actually get to reading them instead of renewing them 5 times and never getting to them. So let's just get started. Before I start my library book haul, I just want to say how extremely important libraries are to us as booktubers, because it's expensive being a booktuber. You feel like you have to buy all of these books, you feel like you have to invest so much money into buying books and doing book hauls and stuff like that, and I'm totally not on that train. I just don't think it's fair to us that we feel like we need to invest so much money in this. That's why I just love my library so much. And I actually had a conversation with another booktuber, and I will not name names because she admitted openly to downloading books illegally, and I wasn't really going to say anything on my channel. Like, I wanted to make a full video about it, but I didn't really want to harp on something so negative, because downloading books illegally is illegal. Like, it's against the law. Like, and she said something in her video about like she gets viruses all the time from doing this, and I'm just like, it's illegal and you get viruses from downloading these books, so why do you keep doing it? And it just boggles my mind. Like, there's so many cheap free ways to get books. Like, they have used bookstores, and you know, you have books for trade on Twitter, and there's so many new, like, a lot of people download these books illegally off the internet because they're new and they can't get them yet, or they don't want to spend the money on them. But if you do books for trade on the internet, on Twitter, like, it's totally legal to trade ARCs back and forth. And so there's that, and then you can get books from the library. I support my library so much, and especially if you live in a bigger city, it's so easy for you to get the new hyped releases from your library if you know how to do it. And I've made a video before about libraries and how to get free books from your library and how to request books and stuff like that. I will link it down below, but if you guys want to see like a new updated video on that, let me know down in the comments and I will definitely do that. But it just bothers me so much. So please, everyone, use your library. You might think that it doesn't support authors, but it really does. The books are sold to libraries at a discounted rate, but it still supports authors like so much. Downloading books illegally hurts authors. You would have no idea like how much that hurts authors and publishing companies. And if we want to be good booktubers and good readers, we will definitely support our authors. And whether that means buying the book from Amazon or the bookstore or checking it out from the library for free, either way, you're supporting your author. So I'm going to stop my rant now because I could go on and on about this topic for forever, but please just support your local library, support the authors that you love, support the publishers that you love, and, you know, use your library because it is just a vital piece of our community and of being a good reader. And yes, so anyway, on to the book haul. Riverkeep by Martin Stewart. This sounded super interesting. This was one of the books in one of the young adult book boxes this month. I don't remember which one, but I saw a couple people hauling it and doing book unboxings for those, and it sounded really interesting. Basically, this is about a boy and his father is the Riverkeep, and basically that means that they are in charge of keeping the river clear so that boats can pass through, and they're in charge of recovering bodies from the river because I guess this area is very dangerous. And one day when the boy's father is trying to clear out the river, he is dragged underneath, and when he comes to the surface, a dark force has taken over his body, and it's the boy's job to kind of figure out how to get his father back and still keep up with the river. And this just sounded really cool. I loved the cover. I just think it is so gorgeous. It's very reminiscent of like an old map, and I love that so much. I'm wondering, yeah, they have a map in there, and I just think it's gorgeous. I kind of wish the map looked a lot more similar to the like cover with the way that it's designed, but still, I'm super excited to see what this is all about. I also picked up Jacoby by William Ritter, and I heard this described as like a mixture between Doctor Who and Sherlock Holmes, so I am just super excited about this. I've seen so many people read this, and I think like the 3rd book in this series is coming out soon, so I definitely need to get on this train before too many books come out in the series and I lose interest, because I think this cover, I don't know if you can see it with the plastic wrap from my library on here, but I just think that this book is so beautiful, and I haven't heard a bad review of Jacoby or any of the other books in the series yet, so I hope that I can read this very soon. I also picked up Summer Days and Summer Nights, edited by Stephanie Perkins. This is 12 love stories set in the summer. If you remember, My True Love Gave to Me, which came out last December, I believe, was 12 stories set around holiday time, and I really enjoyed like 10 out of the 12 stories in there, so I'm hoping that I enjoy this one as well. I've heard that some of the writers who contributed stories for the winter one continued on with those stories in the summer one, so I was just really excited to see more of the same characters that I enjoyed from those stories in this one, and I've heard lots of great reviews for this as well, and I really want to read it before the summer is out, obviously, because I want to get all those summery feels, but I'm super excited about this. How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mather is about a girl who moves to Salem, Massachusetts, and she finds out that she is related to Cotton Mather, who kind of incited the witch trials in the late 1600s in Salem, Massachusetts. The descendants of the witches in the Salem witch trials are still living in Salem, and they find out that she's related to Cotton Mather, and then all of a sudden the descendants of the witches start going missing, and all signs point to this girl because of her ancestor and because she just recently moved to Salem, and that's when the disappearing started. And this sounds super interesting, and the reason what intrigued me so much is that Adriana Mather, the author of the book, is actually a descendant of Cotton Mather, and he's a real person, and the history behind what he did in Salem, Massachusetts around the Salem witch trials is all a true story. And so I think that's really interesting that the author is taking her ancestry and her experiences and putting it into a novel, and I think that's really cool. So I really hope that this is amazing. I've heard amazing things from so many people on BookTube, and I'm excited to read this. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I don't think that there should be like much explanation as to why I need to read this, but everyone on BookTube has read this except for me, and I honestly don't even really know what it's about. Yeah, okay, this is the one about the twins. I get this book and a different book mixed up a lot, but I guess it's about Jude and her twin brother Noah, and that they're really close, and then I guess something happens and to kind of separate them or something. I'm not really sure, but I've heard this is a heartbreaking and compelling novel that just moves people so much, and it means a lot to so many booktubers. So I'm really excited to see what the hype is about and what the deal is. I'm not really big on contemporaries, but when one gets as much hype as this one does, I really need to see what's going on. Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan is about a shipwreck in the early 1900s, I believe, and the only survivors of this shipwreck are 3 people, and one of them is telling the truth, and I guess 2 of them are lying about what happened with the shipwreck. Like, it didn't happen because of natural causes. There was kind of some foul play involved, and I heard a lot of really great things about this book when it first came out, but not a lot recently, and I saw it at the library, and it's usually like has a bunch of holds on it when it first came out, and so I didn't really bother checking it out, but now that it's kind of emptied out and not a lot of people are really talking about it or interested in it anymore, I kind of want to see what's going on. It sounds like the mystery for this story is epic and you don't see the ending coming, so hopefully I really enjoy this. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me for my library book haul. As I said in the beginning of this video, please use your library. It is just so important. I mean, if you have the ability to buy books and use your money for that and you don't have to check out books, like, that's totally fine. But if you are worried about not being able to afford the best, most hyped new release at the moment, go to your local library. Almost all of them will have good releases, and if you don't see the book that that they have there, if you don't see the book that you want, go to your librarian and ask if there is a way that you can request books for their collection, because they almost always, especially if it's a hyped book, if it's a popular book that they think a lot of other patrons will read, just ask them if they will request to buy it, and almost always they will. I think I've gotten denied for a request maybe once or twice in my entire library career at both of the different libraries that I've worked with and lived near. So yes, if you guys if you have any questions about libraries or how to use them or ways to use your library to the fullest extent, let me know down in the comments below. And I think I'm going to do a video on libraries and all of those things in the near future. But anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!